Good afternoon, students. This is our lecture number 8. Let's discuss the third method of genetic engineering, that is, potential products of genetic engineering. One important area of genetic manipulation in which conventional breeding is completely powerless, namely the transfer of a gene from the higher organism into the bacterial or yeast cell with the aim of obtaining the synthesis of the gene products by the transfer cells in a culture. First important area is pharmaceuticals. One has only to consider a selection of some of the polypeptides which are of pharmaceutical value to appreciate the large potential of genetic engineering for their production. For example, many hemophiliacs are unable to stop bleeding because of their inability to produce a polypeptide called the human blood clotting factor 8, which is present in human blood at very low concentration. They can be prevented from bleeding to death by the injection of factor 8, purified from vast quantity of the human blood. Not only is the preparation of factor 8 a very expensive process owing to its low initial concentration in the liquid, which is in short supply of value in its own right. Since each preparation is derived from the blood of many thousands of donors, there is a significant risk that dangerous virus such as those for the hepatitis or AIDS may be transmitted to the hemophiliacs in their injection of clotting factor. Similar problem of production arise with other polypeptide which have to be extracted from human serum or tissue. Tissue plasminogen activator could be used to dissolve unwanted blood clots blocking blood vessels, thus revealing the thrombosis, calcitonin, and possibly in conjugation with parathyroid hormone may be of the great value in stimulating a strengthening of the brittle bonds so often found in elderly people. A nerve growth factor has been identified which could promote the repair and regeneration of the damaged nerves. Human growth hormone is a polypeptide already used to treat the children suffering from the hypopituitarism. What is a hypopituitarism? A condition that would otherwise result in stunted growth, or we can say dwarfism. The low incidence of dwarfism means that it can be controlled using a hormone extracted from the pituitaries of human cadavers. But there are the indication that human growth hormone could also be of the value in the treatment of burns, to promote the healing of wounds and fractured bones, and to treat the bones weakened by the decalcification. Since supply of the hormone from the human pituitaries are almost entirely used up in treating the dwarfism, any expansion of the application of human growth hormone can only occur if it can be produced by genetically engineered microorganism. Best example of genetically engineered polypeptide used for the treatment of human is insulin. We know this hormone is essential for the correct regulation of blood sugar levels. If it is not produced by the pancreas, diabetes will result, which must then be kept under control by injection of the insulin. These are estimated to be about 60 million diabetics in the world. of which 25 million are in the developed country. So there is a huge market for insulin. For most diabetics, insulin obtained from the pigs or cattle appear to work as effectively as the human variety, as might be expected in view of the fact that they differ from the human insulin in only 1 or 3 amino acids respectively. Some diabetics can develop an allergic response to the animal insulin, and there is a debate over the long-term side effect of using a foreign hormone. These reservations promoted attempt to produce a human insulin by genetically engineered bacteria, and it looked as if the first company to succeed would make a fortune. Unfortunately for this company, research into the way of modify insulin chemically was making headway to such an extent that it is now possible to modify the pig insulin to exactly the same structure as a human insulin. The battle between the two processes for insulin production will therefore be on economic grounds and in view of the plentiful supply of the pig pancreas. Victory for the biotechnologist seems unlikely. Another group of the polypeptide which has caused a lot of excited speculations is the interferon. These molecules, what is the function of interferon? These molecules are produced naturally by the human body in response to the viral infection and appear to have antiviral and anti-tumor properties. However, as with many such compounds, so little could be produced from the human tissue that it was not possible to carry out satisfactory clinical trials to establish their properties. In view of their possible therapeutic effects, programs were established with the aim of producing interferon on a large scale in bacteria. 3 types of interferon have been produced in this way. They certainly do not appear to be the wonder drugs that some had greatly improved resistance to a range of viruses, and they are also effective in treating a few types of cancer, notably a rare leukemia called the hairy cell leukemia. These interferons is also used in treatment of the cancer such as a leukemia. They may be of most used against the cancer by revealing more about how the immune system can detect and eliminate tumors. As the most interesting anti-cancer drugs may be tumor necrosis factor, it is also called TNF, and lymphotoxin, it is also called LT. These polypeptides are produced by human cell, and they are able both to recognize tumor cells and to destroy them selectively. They are different molecules. They have some quite extensive sequence in common, and 2 regions which are highly conserved could turn out to be the responsible for tumor cell recognition and cell destruction. The gene for both TNF and LT have been cloned, and clinical trials of the bacterially synthesized molecule should reveal how effective they are against tumor and if they produce a harmful side effects. Next important area of genetic engineering is vaccine. Medical application of genetically engineered microorganisms are not limited to the synthesis of the human polypeptide. A very attractive use of such system is in the production of the vaccine. The idea behind a vaccine is that it should contain molecule which produce the same antigenic response as the virus to which it will give immunity without causing the harmful proliferation of virus particles within the body. It is a definition of vaccine. These can be achieved by the use of the virus particles which have been in some way made harmless but which still have the same outward appearance. These are the two problems, or we can say it is the limitations. Incomplete inactivations of the virus may allow a few live particles to survive, which would therefore actually be a source of infection or some preparation. The other problem is that virus has to be grown in animal, and in certain cases it will grow only in human. In such cases, human cell culture must be used, which are expensive to maintain and very slow growing by comparison with the bacterial cells. However, it is the viral coat proteins which are antigenic, and so preparation of pure coat protein can act as an effective vaccine. This immediately opens up the possibility of cloning and expressing the genes for the coat protein in bacteria and using the bacterial product as a vaccine. Such vaccine would be the guarantee free from live virus and should be cheaper than those produced using animal cell cultures. Now, third is enzyme. Enzyme can only be used on an industrial scale if their production costs are low, and this effectively means that they must be derived from the culture of microorganism. By genetic engineering become possible with the discovery of the two type of enzyme. First is restriction endonuclease and second is ligases. In view of the immune variety of reactions carried out by the microbes, it is likely that any enzyme which will be needed by biochemical engineers is already being made by some microorganism. It is also likely that a certain amount of genetic manipulation would improve the yield of enzyme, perhaps by transferring its gene into the faster growing, safer, more efficient host, or by attaching the gene to a stronger promoter in order to increase its level of expression. By attaching the suitable sequence to the gene, it may be possible to trick the cell into the exporting the enzyme, thus making its isolation easier. Many enzymes become unstable when isolated from the cell because enzyme is a very sensitive. At high temperature, enzyme is a denatured, and the lower temperature it is a clot, making them unsuitable for the industrial use. Genetic engineering offers the possibility of modify the structure of an enzyme to increase its stability, alter its pH or temperature optimum, change its affinity for the substrate. But such tuning of enzymes will depend on the vast improvement in our understanding of exactly how the enzyme works. Thank you for watching my video.